gang, it is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Rachael Kirkconnell, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you.
Obviously, you're going through a very, very public breakup right now. It's like not under the best circumstances that we're sitting down together. I think it was a shock to the world. We're going to find out today if it was a shock to you, but just like overall, how are you doing right now?
It's different every day. I'm doing okay. I would say some days are better than others. Like one day I'm like feeling kind of empowered. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it's okay. Like I'm excited to be on my own. And then the next day I like can barely get out of bed and I just miss him and I'm sad about everything. So yeah, it just comes and goes. It's different every day.
I think that like why I especially want to talk to you today and what we're going to get into though is like even you just saying that is so relatable. Like probably everyone watching this has been through a breakup and a breakup is like not linear where you're like one day like, oh my God, I'm perfect again. So like I appreciate you being honest because breakups are so emotionally devastating and hard, especially if you're the one getting broken up with. I obviously want to talk to you about everything that's happened, but first I do think it's kind of important we just kind of go back to like when you met Matt on The Bachelor. Why did you want to go on that show?
Oh my gosh. It's actually a funny story. I didn't want to go on the show.
Okay.
Did not sign myself up for the show. My friends nominated me and they didn't tell me that they nominated me. I think they put in just some, filled out the online thing and I got a call. I was grocery shopping. It was like middle of COVID. So I'm getting this call from a random LA number and I'm like, that's so weird. Like who's trying to reach out to me right now from LA? But I was grocery shopping, so didn't answer. Got a text from the same phone number. Didn't open the text. I was like, I thought it was like a job. I was applying for jobs everywhere. It was like one of those things where it was like, I don't think anyone knew what was going on in the world. So I just was seeing what could happen. And so I thought it was a job getting back to me. And then I got a voicemail. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to call these people back if like they're actually, trying to set up an interview with me or something. So I get to my car and I immediately listen to the voicemail and it's someone from The Bachelor saying they received an application from me. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a prank. I texted my friends. I'm like, well, who did this? Like, what's going on? So 3 of my friends started freaking out and they were like, oh my gosh, we filled out an application for you like months ago. So it's real. I didn't think it was an actual thing. And at first I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to be the villain or I'm going to be like one of the crazy girls. I didn't know how it worked. So I was like, I'm going to be, I don't know, just it's not going to go well for me. So at first I was like, no, I'm not doing that. That sounds crazy. And then I did have a call with them and they were like, you know what, just go with the process and just see. Like my friends were like, just see what they even want from you. Like I just want to see the ins and outs. So I was like, okay. So I started doing interviews and I still was like really nervous about it, really not feeling it, but it was COVID and it was just like let's just see where this goes. Then they announced Matt in June, I think, as The Bachelor. And that's when I was like, wait, okay. It's very, very attractive. He seems like a great guy and I would love to get to meet him.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, actually this would be really fun if given the opportunity. And I don't think any of us found out. I think like 2 weeks before we had to fly out, we got like the okay if we were on the show or not. So I had 2 weeks to like decide if I wanted to do it, get all my shit together. And
Wait, why do you think your friends applied you? Like, had you come out of a breakup? Were you chronically single? Like, what was your vibe?
I think at the time, a lot of my friends were in relationships and I wasn't. And my friends loved the show. I don't know if they really watch so much now, but at the time, loved The Bachelor. I think it just, whose season? I think it was Pilot Pete's season, right?
Oh my God.
And it was a shit show. It was great TV,
Yeah, it was.
So that was like peak Bachelor, I would say. So my friends were like, we need to get one of our friends on this show. And I mean, it was like me and I think 2 other girls in our group were single and they just were like, we need to apply Rachael. We think she'd be great.
Had you been in a serious relationship before The Bachelor?
I've got this dream
and you're all in it. Friends.
Classic.
And it wasn't even him, it was just more so me. Like, I was just going through a hard time or a weird time in my life, and I was like, I don't need to be in this relationship, especially with like one of my best friends. And now to this day our relationship's weird, but
That's like the worst, when I have people write in all the time and they're like, should I go for my friend? And I'm like, my advice is just prepare that it will never be the same. So, but I also like commend you for like going for it, because then also then the other side is you always have the what if, like, would we have been perfect? So I guess like hearing that though, like, was there any part of you, knowing how The Bachelor works, that you were...
He contacted my well, now she's my sister-in-law, but Reality Steve contacted my brother's girlfriend at the time, and she told me, and I was with Matt.
What did he say?
So he basically said that there was a girl that reached out to him saying, like, you know, Matt and me have been speaking. He's been trying to get me to come over and hang out, and I just saw that him and Rachel were seen together in New York when he was literally just trying to hang out with me like 2 days prior, and I don't think she knows, so I just want her to know. And so I was given that information, and I was really, really upset, just because I felt like it was definitely kept a secret from me. He technically didn't lie because I never asked, but at the same time, I never would have. Well, maybe he did lie a little bit. Now I'm trying to think about it. Maybe there were some lies in there, because I was very, very, very upset when I found everything out, and I just remember telling him that he lied to me.
Yeah.
So with all of that, I just remember storming out of his place, and I was like, don't ever talk to me again. Like, we're done. Because I just found out a lot of stuff all at once. And yeah, I just was definitely a little bamboozled for sure. So then, like, we go another week without talking, and long story short, he ends up being in Atlanta for work, and I'm at my friend's apartment, and the hotel they put him in is right next to my friend's apartment. Like, we could throw a rock at it, you know? And yeah, I think he saw my location. He saw it was like literally 100 feet from him, and he was like, I understand you probably don't ever want to talk to me again, but can we meet just so I can apologize and just, you know, share my side of things? And I said yes. And we sat in my car. I wouldn't let him come up to her apartment.
Classic.
So I met him downstairs, and we sat in my car and talked for like 6 hours, just sitting in the parking garage. And, you know, he explained everything. I heard him out. And it was just one of those things where he was like, just give me a chance. I'm sorry, and I do love you, and I do want to be with you, and I'm done, you know, playing these games. Like, let's give this a real shot. Let's get back together. So I said, okay. I gave him the chance because I loved him.
When you got back together, coming off of that, coming off of the dynamic on The Bachelor, like, did you have a hard time trusting him?
1000%. So I told myself, like, he has a lot to move on from,
To be present and
little meltdown like that, or if I'm feeling overwhelmed or anything, he just like lets me move through the motions, get it all out of my system, and then, you know, okay, I'm ready to talk, like something like that.
So dinner, like, did you guys have like normal conversation?
No, we didn't even talk. Like, we just sat there, had dinner, got into the Uber.
Wait, Rachel, why did you feel so upset about like the menu not being good?
I felt like whenever we would go somewhere and it was bad, that it was just disappointing, because I think like we're on trips, it's like every meal counts. Like every dinner, everywhere we go, it counts. Or it's important. Because you know, only have so many meals in the day. And this sounds crazy, but as like a food person, I'm trying to just make sure that he's getting good content for our trip and stuff, because I know like it's important to him and that it's something that we'll both post about. So I'm just feeling bad, I guess, that it was a bad spot. And then
Are you feeling like you're disappointing him?
yeah, I guess. Yeah, disappointing him, or just, yeah, like, I think he was just like, what is the big deal? So we finally get to the hotel, and I give him a hug, and I could just tell, like, he was just like, you know, not very comforting. And I'm like, are you mad at me? And he was like, I'm just so confused, like, why you were so upset, like, what was that? And I explained to him, I'm like, I felt like I had let you down, like, I felt like that was disappointing, and I hate going to a place that isn't somewhere that, like, you could post about. I feel like it's a waste. And he just was trying to tell me, like, it's not that serious, like, it's not that big of a deal. But then he was concerned about me getting so upset. He was like, that was, like, there was no reason for you to get upset like that. And he found it concerning that I got that emotional, I guess. And so then and he just was trying to express to me, like, if you get emotional about little things like this, like, what is going to happen in life when something really terrible happens? Like, how are you going to be able to react to things that are actually really scary or disappointing or sad? And I think, like, I don't know, it just hurt to hear, because I'm like, I probably would react to things that are terrible in a sad way. Like, what do you mean? I don't know. I felt like I was being punished for crying. It was just so weird. I don't know. Still don't really know that whole situation. I just was really confused by his reaction.
And in the past, like, how does Matt usually respond when you are upset?
He'll let me, like, he'll give me my space.
Do you want space?
No, I don't. I, like, want to be comforted, but for some reason, Matt always thought that I need space, and then we talk about it after, even though I would tell him, like, I don't want you to, like, give me my space, because then I feel like I'm not getting any support, you know, or, like, comfort from you. But that was just something that he thought, like, he just needed me to calm down, and then we would talk and everything would be okay.
So this happens, and then is literally the next day the breakup?
Yes.
So you wake up the next morning. What are the vibes? Is he tense? Are you guys acting weird? Like,
No.
Take me through that whole day.
Everything was fine. Like, when we went to bed, he was saying, like, it's okay. So I just let it go. He let it go. It was totally fine the next day.
Okay.
And I think it was one of those things where, I mean, literally a few days before, we're talking about how he feels lucky to have me as a partner, and that, you know, there's just, like, so many qualities that he loves that I have, and that, you know, we see relationships with other people where they deal with a lot and or put up with a lot of things.
Because without a doubt, it is one of the weirder, cryptic. I mean, people on the internet are like, this is going to go down in history as, like, one of the weirdest Instagram breakup posts I've ever seen. Can you talk to me about, like, where were you when you saw this post?
So I had just gotten to the airport and, you know, checked my bags, everything, got on the flight.
Okay.
And I'm in my seat, and for some reason my phone, I think it's because I downloaded a VPN on my phone a few years ago, and now for whatever reason it cannot connect to plane Wi-Fi.
Okay.
It just can't. I don't know why. So whenever I take these long flights, like, I'm off the grid. So we're literally getting ready to take off, and my phone blows up. It's one of my best friends, and it says Rach with a bunch of question marks. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, how does she know? And then she texted me again and said, I saw Matt's post, is this real life? And that's how I found out that he posted. So then, literally, the plane is taking off, and I see his post, and that's it. I don't have any service or anything for, like, the next 12 hours. So I'm freaking out because, you know, just got broken up with, and now a few hours later, it's like for the whole world to see. And I'm still like trying to process it. Like I'm still in like total shock.
Alleviate you from, listen, Bachelor Nation is amazing. They're also very intense. And I feel like every single thing you would type would get picked apart. Like there was no, we talked about this, there wasn't going to be like a perfect Instagram post or caption or comment you could leave that would like leave people feeling like they have an understanding. Not that they deserve it, but they feel like they do because of the way that your guys' relationship started so publicly. So I think it's this like mixed bag of emotions. When you were finishing like that call with him, like where did you guys leave it? Like what did you say?
We left it like, it's so weird. I was about to say like I just wish we could somehow be friends, because he was my best friend, and it hurts to not have him as my best friend anymore. But that's like how we left it. Like we were just talking like everything was okay. You know, I asked him like how his last day was in Tokyo, and like, you know, he filled me in on like what he did, and then we were just talking like, you know, everything was fine. And he ended up falling asleep because I called him back at like 1 a.m. because both of our jet lag was so crazy at the time. And yeah, he ended up like falling asleep, and I just hung up, and that's that.
How long was the conversation?
It was pretty long. It was like over an hour at least.
Did you guys talk about like, are you gonna do no contact for a little bit, or you?
No, we didn't discuss that. I think like that's something that we probably have to do. We haven't talked a lot. Like he's called me every like few days just to make sure I'm okay, but I told him that he didn't need to do that. The last time we spoke, I was like, you don't need to like call and check up on me, like I'll be okay. And so that was that. But yeah, I don't know why I don't know if he's feeling bad or he just wants to see where I'm at. I don't know.
In your head right now, like if you're being really, really honest with yourself, do you think there's any chance you guys ever get back together?
I don't think I can, which is sad. I don't think I can, because I think when someone says those things that he said, you know, like I don't think you're my person, I don't see us getting married, I think that's when you like have to call it quits. And then yeah, just the way that he handled all of this and his posts and everything, like I forgive him, but I just don't think I can be with someone that I felt like he disrespected me at the end of the day doing that. So yeah, it's just one of those things where you like have to stand up for yourself even if you don't want to. Like of course there's part of me that wishes that we could just get back together and pretend none of this ever happened. But yeah, that's not the case. And I think as hard as it is, I think the right decision is to just stand up for myself and be on my own.
I was gonna say, like, I'm so impressed by one, just like how you're handling everything, because I think he would say that I like compromise my values at times because I want to be friends, because how can you envision a world not only not him being your friend but like without him? I get that. No, I know I'm gonna cry because we've all been there. It's like it's unfathomable to be like, Matt's not in my life anymore. But what I will say is, like, from experience, I feel like sometimes the person that ends the relationship has the guilt. Like there's guilt that, and he keeps calling you to check in, and unfortunately it's going to be on you to have to be like, one, he's moving on, right? But he's also checking in on you.
Yeah.
It's going to prolong you being able to actually be like, okay, I have to cut ties. And sometimes it does take no contact, because it's like, how can you have someone in your life that you did everything with, you loved all of it, and you're gonna like smile to yourself and you're like, oh my God, I haven't thought of him in like weeks. I haven't thought of him, or even if it's days, you know what I mean? Like, it's slow wins, but then all of a sudden you move on. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
You are such a sweet person, and I'm really, really, really sorry that this happened to you. But like I said, like, girl, girl, we're getting back out there.
Yeah.
It is only the beginning.
Well, thank you for having me.
You.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.